Today I want to talk to you guys about nutrition. We've learned a little bit about nutrition. We've learned about some of the different nutrients in a learning tree when you're little. And the first thing we learn about is just fruits and vegetables. And then as you get a little bit older, you start learning about balancing your meals and eating a bunch of different types of healthy food at every meal. And then when we get a little bit older, we learn about how much of each of those foods we need to eat. And in saplings too, it's really cool because we get to learn about what are the things that are in our food that help our bodies. What are those exact things, those specific nutrients? That's the important word, nutrients. So we're going to talk about 4 different sort of groups right now. And then we're going to look at some different food, and we're going to figure out how to make good choices using what we know, or maybe better choices sometimes. So, all right, let's look at an important word, one of these types. Protein is really important. Helps our body build muscles. Every time, like let's say you're at the park and you're running. Well, while you're running, your muscles are actually ripping, right? And so at night when you sleep, your body has to rebuild those muscles. And eating protein, helps us rebuild those muscles so that our body can keep getting stronger and stronger, which helps you get faster, or stronger in different ways. So protein, let's look at some different types of protein here. Now there's a lot of different things that we can eat to get protein. I've got some in a picture here. We've got steak, we've got chicken, fish, cheese. Some different oats sometimes have a lot of protein in them. Eggs have a lot of protein. Different types of nuts, beans, some types of seeds. Also, some leafy vegetables and other vegetables too, like spinach and broccoli have a little bit of protein also. So eating these types of foods are really important for helping us keep our muscles strong. Protein helps us rebuild our muscles. Very, very, very important. All right, let's look at another nutrient. All right, here we go. This is a long word. It says carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are foods that we eat that help give our body energy. Now, there's a lot of different types of carbohydrates. I've got a picture right here of many different kinds. Let's take a look at that. So carbohydrates are things like bread and pasta, and rice is a carbohydrate. Honey is a carbohydrate. Sugar is a carbohydrate. Fruits have a lot of sugar in them, so we get a lot of carbohydrates from fruits. Corn has a lot of sugar in it as well, so that gives our body some carbohydrates. Usually breads and sugars, rices, things like that. Those are all carbohydrate foods. Now, carbohydrates are really important because if we did not have enough carbohydrates, our body would not have enough energy to get through the day, right? To do all the fun things that you want to do. People who are athletes, before they compete or sometimes during their event, if it's a really long event, like a really long race, sometimes they might eat a little bit of carbohydrates in the middle just to keep their body, just to give their body a little bit more energy. Now, carbohydrates are tricky because there are sort of like good carbohydrates or better carbohydrates and sort of like worse carbohydrates. Some carbohydrates are really helpful for our body. They give us a lot of really good energy, and they're really easy for our body to use. So when we put them into our body, it's really easy to change them into energy. Other carbohydrates, our body has a little bit harder time using, and also sometimes they get saved. Your body saves that energy as fat, and maybe that's not exactly what you want, right? If you maybe have heard of people saying like, oh, I feel like I might be getting fat or something like that. That's because maybe their body is saving too much fat, and it could be coming from carbohydrates. So now, an example of a good carbohydrate would be something like brown bread, rye bread, whole wheat bread. That's a really good carbohydrate. Whole wheat pasta, like this dark brown pasta here, that's really, really good. Gives your body a lot of energy, but also it gives you energy that your body can use for a long time, right? If you eat just regular sugar, your body gets a big spike of energy, and then the energy goes away, and you might feel really tired afterwards. But when you eat things like whole grains, like whole grain pasta or or whole grain, like steel cut oatmeal, something like that. That gives your body a lot of energy that you can use all day long, which is really, really great. So for carbohydrates, you want to avoid things that have too much sort of just plain sugar, just sort of like white sugar. You want to get more of your carbohydrates from things like whole grains. That's a better way to do it. Now, honey is a sweetener. Sometimes we use honey instead of sugar. Honey is a little bit better than regular sugar, but still you wouldn't want to eat too much honey also, because it would give you maybe the same problem of your body would sort of have too much carbohydrates in it, and so it would save some of them as fat. So some honey is good. It's better than regular white sugar, but you still don't want to eat too much of it. All right, let's look at something else. Here we go. All right, our next category, vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals. 2 words, vitamins and minerals. Now, these are a little bit tricky to understand because they're really small. It's hard to see them. Like, you can imagine protein, kind of. It's really easy to imagine. And you can imagine carbohydrates. But vitamins and minerals are really, like, they don't seem like a food, like steak. They're a tiny, tiny thing that is inside pretty much all of the food that we eat. Now, vitamins and minerals are really important. They do a lot of different jobs inside of our body. Vitamins help keep our body going. It helps our eyes stay strong. It helps our skin stay healthy. They help our bones. The minerals in things like milk help our bones stay strong. They're things that we definitely need. They do a lot of important jobs. For example, vitamin K is a vitamin that we find in a lot of leafy green vegetables like spinach or kale or broccoli, things like that. And vitamin K is really important for helping your body if you get a cut and you're bleeding. Vitamin K is one of the things that helps your body stop the bleeding and make a scab to protect your skin. So things like that are really, really important. And if we didn't get enough vitamin K, our body would have a hard time helping itself if it has a cut. So, okay, where can we get vitamins and minerals? We get them in almost everything we eat. But some really good places to get them are in things like fruits and vegetables. Lots and lots and lots of vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables. Here's a picture here. There's a little cutting board in the middle, and we've got some different fruits and vegetables like tomatoes, bell peppers, onions, lots of different things here. Some kale, carrots. We've got pepper, we've got salt. Those are the types of things that keep our body working. We need salt in our body. It can be bad if we have too much salt, but we need some salt. If you drink a sports drink like like Pocari Sweat or Aquarius or something like that, if you drink one of those, one of the things that makes those drinks different from regular water is that they also have things like salt in them. And those minerals help our body when we sweat a lot. They help keep our body healthy so that we can keep exercising and keep having fun, playing outside. So vitamins and minerals, really, really important to help keep us healthy. The best thing to do is to eat a lot of different types of vegetables, lots of different colors, because usually different colored fruits and vegetables have different types of vitamins and minerals in them. All right, the last category that we're going to look at today is this one, fats and lipids. Now, fats and lipids are really important. Some people get a little worried about fats, right? Like I said before, maybe you've heard somebody say, oh my goodness, maybe I'm getting too fat, or oh, I don't want to eat that because I might get fat. And that's something that we have to be careful of, right, to keep our bodies healthy. But some fats are really, really important. We need some fats because they help keep our body healthy. Our body, all of our parts, our skin, our hair, all of our body parts are made up of these things called cells. Cells are like little bags that kind of, many of the little pieces sort of, for example, for your skin, many different skin cells next to each other. And without enough fats in our diet, in the food that we eat, our body cannot build, really nice, strong cells. So without the right kinds of fats, our body would have a lot of problems with, our skin and really all of the parts of our body. Now, fats are probably the area we have to be the most careful about, though, because like carbohydrates, there are good fats and there's also bad fats. Now, in this picture here, I've got a lot of different examples of fats, and these ones are really good fats. Things like the fats that we get from eating salmon. Salmon is a fish, and there's a lot of fat in that fish, which is, I think, one of the reasons why it tastes so good. And those fats are really, really helpful, especially for our brains, keep us from getting sick, and especially for kids too, kids and babies. This type of fat that you can find in salmon is really important for helping develop a nice, strong brain. Here are some other types of fats, other places where we can get fats, I should say. Avocado. Avocado is a fruit, but it has lots of fat in it. Lots of fat in it. Back here is a little jar of oil, and it's probably olive oil, I think, because this is some healthy fats. And olive oil is a type of oil that you can use for cooking or for making things like salad dressing. But it comes from olives. They squeeze the olives and they get this oil out of it. Here's some olives here you can see. But olive oil is also really, really healthy. It gives you a lot of good fats for your body. Things like nuts. Nuts and seeds also have a lot of fat. Be careful, make sure you don't have an allergy. If you have an allergy to things like nuts, then get your fats from someplace else, like maybe salmon or maybe olive oil. But if you don't have an allergy, nuts like almonds are a really, really good, healthy way to get some fats for your body. Now, like I said, there's good fats and bad fats. If you eat a donut has lots and lots of fat in it. A slice of cake or a cookie has a lot of fat in it. A lot of fat. And it's really, first of all, it's more fat than our body needs, right? So our body can't use that fat, so it just starts to save it. And that's why sometimes then our bodies start to collect that fat, and maybe we get a little bit bigger, and we might start to say, oh, I feel fat or something like that. But more important than even that is that some fats help us, right? They help us build our cells, but other fats they don't help us, and they actually sort of hurt our bodies. And a lot of times you can find those types of fats in things like junk food. So junk food might have things called, for example, trans fats. In English, you can look it up. Trans fats, and things like trans fats are not very good for our bodies. So we want to avoid that kind of fat. Those sort of things can cause some problems in our body, and we want to look for food that is made with healthy things in it. Healthy fats, like avocado oil or olive oil or the oil from fish or seeds or nuts. Those are really healthy fats. All right, so now that we've talked about some of these different categories, the important thing when we're learning about nutrition is to figure out how we can bring that to our life. Right? So you go to the grocery store sometimes, maybe with your mom or with your dad, and you pick food. Maybe you're at the grocery store, maybe you're at a convenience store. You have a lot of choices, right? And of course, if it's dinner time, we try to eat, really healthy dinners, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, nice sort of clean protein, for our lunches. But sometimes you're going to have a lot of choices in front of you, and even with certain types of junk food, you can make better choices than others, right? So I've got a few different things on our table here, and I want to help you look at them, and we can decide, first of all, are these healthy foods? And second of all, which one is a better choice? If you are going to eat this food, which one is a better choice? So let's start here. I've got two different types of pasta sauce. This one says creamy basil Alfredo sauce, and this one is an eggplant, tomato, and onion pasta sauce. Two different types of pasta sauce. Now, you might be at the grocery store and you might be looking at these and deciding, which one do I want to have for dinner tonight? Now, of course, they might both be delicious, right? But now that we're learning about nutrition, we can look at these bottles and we can decide which one is a healthier choice. So on the back of food in Japan and in America, there's always a nutrition facts or a nutrition label someplace on this bottle. Now, the labels are different, depends on the country and depends on the type of food, but there's usually a few of the same things always. For example, fats or carbohydrates or protein, sodium, which means salt. So we can look at these labels, like for example on this one and on this one, and we can decide which one is a better choice. So now one of the first areas that we look at when we're looking at two different labels is something called calories. And it might say KCAL, kcal, or just CAL. And calories tells us basically how much energy this food has. Now, so then you might think, oh, I want something with a big number, right? Because I want a lot of energy. But remember, if we put in too many calories at one time, like too much fat or too many carbohydrates, our body can't use it, so it just saves it as fat. And that's not very healthy. So when we're picking a choice, it's a better idea to pick something that has a low number of calories. So if I look at these two labels, this one over here says that it has 100 calories per serving. So, each serving of sauce, for maybe this says it has 7 servings. So this is enough sauce for 7 people. And over here, so this one has 100 calories per serving. So if you were to eat your dinner with your pasta with this sauce, you would be getting 100 calories from the sauce. And this one has 63 calories. 63. So 163. Which one do you think is a better choice, a healthier choice? If you remember, I said the smaller number. So 63 is smaller than 100. So this one would be probably a healthier choice. But we should keep looking through the label to see what kind of calories. Where are those calories coming from? Are they coming from healthy places like olive oil or things like that? Or are they coming from less healthy places? So we can keep looking through here. For example, this one says it has 10 grams of fat per serving. Let's see here. I'm actually not sure on this one, but let's look at carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, I told you before, gives our body the energy, and when we get that energy from these, we want to, like with calories, we want to pick a number usually that's kind of small, a lower number. So here, this one has 2 grams of carbohydrates, and this one has 7.9 grams of carbohydrates. So this one has more carbohydrates than this one does, right? But it had less calories, so we still might want to choose this one that had less calories. We can also look at things like protein to see which one has more protein for our muscles. This one, for example, has 1 gram of protein per serving, and this one has 1.3 grams, so a little bit, tiny bit more protein with this one. So I would say because of the calories, probably this tomato sauce is a healthier choice than this creamy sauce. So okay, this next one here, both of these, neither of these are very healthy. Spam is it's a very popular sort of meat. Maybe if you've ever been to Hawaii, you can get spam on top of rice. It's a very popular meal or a very popular snack. But neither of these are very healthy for our bodies, actually. They have a lot of fat in them, a lot of preservatives. Neither of them are a great choice. But let's say that you were at your house and you really wanted to make a sort of Hawaiian meal, right? And spam is very popular in Hawaii. So you're at the store and you see 2 cans of spam on the shelf. So which one should you pick? They look almost exactly the same. But this one has 25% less sodium, which means less salt. So this one has a lot less salt in it than this one. And I told you we need some salt, but too much salt is actually bad for our bodies. It can sort of make our heart have to work harder. It's not very good. So if you were at the grocery store and you saw both of these cans, regular spam or spam with 25% less salt, you should definitely pick this one, the one with less salt, because that is a healthier choice. But neither of these you should eat all the time, because both of them are still, even this one that has less salt, would still be a little bit unhealthy if you ate it too often. All right, let's look at this last one. Let's say it's time for dessert. You're at the grocery store and your mom says you can pick a dessert for tonight, and so you go and you find these 2 boxes of cookies. Now, again, we don't want to eat too many cookies because that would be a very unhealthy diet, right? But a little bit, maybe with the dessert, sometimes is okay. And we have different choices, and we can look at these labels and we can try and decide, well, okay, if I eat a cookie, which one is healthier for me to eat? So let's take a look. On the back of this one, we can see that if you eat 100 grams, so 1 serving of these cookies, it's 485 calories. 485 calories. Whoa, that's so many calories, right? All that sugar and butter and oil and things like that, and the flour to make it, the carbohydrates, all of that brings a lot of calories. And it makes it taste really good, but it also makes it unhealthy, right? So that's a lot of calories, 485 calories. On this one, we have 570 calories for 100 grams. 570 calories. So over here we had 485, and over here 570. So if we just look at the calories, which one is a healthier choice? Do you remember I said we wanted to choose less calories? We wanted the number that was a smaller number, the smaller number. 485 or 570? If you picked this one, you are correct. There are less calories in this cookie than there are in this cookie. Right? Now, of course, there might be other things we can look at, but especially for things like desserts, calories are a really easy way to make a healthier decision. And remember, neither of these are very healthy, so you don't want to eat too many of them, right? Maybe just 1 cookie, 1 small cookie after your dinner, sometimes if you had a really great day at school, maybe. But neither of these should be eaten all the time, because it definitely put too many calories into our body. So, all right, you can see that for all different types of food, for healthier foods and for more like junk foods, there's always good choices or better choices that we can make, right? And now that you know that you can look on the back of labels, you can go to the store and you can ask your mom and dad to help you find that label on the back that tells you about the ingredients and also what type of nutrients and nutrition you can find in it. And by doing that, you can start to make better choices. So your homework today, I think you should go home with your mom and dad. You should pick some food. Try and find some different types of food. Like maybe you have some things that are similar at your house, like for example, pasta sauce, and look at the back of them and compare them and try and decide which one is a healthier choice. All right. So I hope I helped you understand some different nutrients and also how to use that information to keep ourselves healthy. All right, I'll see you next time.